Good morning, Exeter. Congratulations to the great class of 2018. Yes. You can all sit down. I want to welcome all of our guests, families, friends, and fans of the class of 2018. We are really thrilled to see you, and thank you so much for being here. It's a beautiful day here in Exeter, not too hot, not too bright, perfect weather, a fittingly lovely day for this bittersweet farewell to a wonderful, incredible class. So let us begin. I'd like to introduce Athena Spinner, who will offer our official welcome. Thank you, Athena.
Friends, families, faculty, and staff, I'd like to welcome everyone to the class of 2018's commencement. On behalf of my class, I would like to begin by thanking everyone who has helped us reach this point. Thank you to our staff members and administrators for keeping our school up and running these past 4 years. Thank you to our faculty for serving as our teachers, dorm heads, advisors, coaches, and club advisors. Thank you, parents and families, for encouraging us through our best and worst moments and supporting us this entire time. Welcome, everyone, to the class of 2018's commencement. Okay. In his seminal 20th century novel, Nausea, Jean-Paul Sartre's existentialist hero comes to a harrowing realization about the nature of time. Sartre writes, quote, "The true nature of the present revealed itself. It was what exists, and all that was not the present did not exist. The past did not exist, not at all, not in things, not even in my thoughts. Things are entirely what they appear to be, and behind them, there is nothing," end quote. While Sartre was certainly a man ahead of his time, and a pioneering philosopher to boot, I disagree with this quotation in terms of what it means for us on this day, and I do so fully aware that I'm ignoring the historical context in which Sartre wrote his novel. I would argue not only that the past exists, but that the past is wholly relevant to the present, and that by understanding the past, one can better plan for the future. So, I'll begin by sharing our collective past as Exonians. When the class of 2018 arrived at PEA in the fall of 2014, it had only been 1 month, well, a month or two, since Michael Brown's shooting and the advent of the now prominent Black Lives Matter movement. Barack Obama was still president, 24-hour access to the internet was fairly new, the Elm Street Dining Hall had undergone a recent renovation, and boys were still expected to wear ties to class every day. Since then, our community's experienced quite a few changes. We've said goodbye to Principal Hassan, the cage, and those pesky ties. We've said hello to Principal McFarland, a new theater and dance center, a new field house, and a new fitness center. The ground floor of the library has been renovated, lowers contiguous history, and we've pioneered all-gender dorms on campus. As I reflect on the significance of these changes, I am grateful to be part of a community like ours, one that embraces tradition, but is not bound to it. Ours is a community that seeks progress. I'm equally grateful for what my Exeter experience has given me personally. These past 4 years have been some of the best years of my life, and I'm sure that many of my classmates feel the same. I've wrestled with difficult concepts around the Harkness table. I've taken advantage of our numerous extracurricular organizations and used them to support my passions. I've even had the opportunity to leave Exeter on school-sponsored trips and visit new and exciting places around the world. Of course, all of these experiences have been special and meaningful and important, but as researching colleges this past summer showed me, there are clubs, study abroad programs, and strong academic programs at many institutions. So why, I had to ask myself, does Exeter in particular make my heart flutter with love? The answer is the people. It's always been the people. Who else would gossip with me in the Office of Multicultural Affairs and spill tea in good karma than Lexi's a few days later? Who else could convince me to trudge through half a mile of ticks and sticky mud to go stargazing in a meadow? My trip to Cuba wouldn't have been half as memorable if I hadn't danced to street music with my fellow Exonians under a giant white statue of Jesus. Spending a term in Germany wouldn't have been nearly as fun if my classmates hadn't been there to laugh at me as I tripped my way down a ski slope tied to the instructor, literally tied. The community formed by my classmates is what has allowed me to survive to the end of senior year. As we all know, being an Exonian can get rough at times. At the beginning of the year, I remember watching the preps so enthusiastic and hopeful, and asking one of my senior friends how we could have ever been so young. What happened to the sparkle in our eyes, I lamented. We all know what it's like to deal with the bitter winters, the lack of sleep, and the copious amounts of homework that drove my roommate and I, on many nights, to stand on our desks and read aloud to each other so that we could stay awake long enough to complete our history readings. But in those dark moments, my classmates and I built snowmen together when the sun came out. We made each other laugh until tears squeezed their way out of bleary eyes. We kept each other company with memes and Disney songs late into the night. We gave each other the strength to go on. And my classmates haven't just impacted me. I'm proud to say that these past 4 years, I've been privy to our growth as global citizens. I've watched us take a stand against injustice and add our voices to national and international conversations. Our class walked in the historic Women's March. We held up signs in the March for Our Lives. We participated in a coffee night to raise funds for Puerto Rico. We organized clothing drives for Syrian refugees. And we've made our mark locally as well. From leading ESA, Exonians Against Sexual Assault, to joining last year's famous sit-in, we've made it clear that we will hold this institution accountable for embodying the goodness it wants to cultivate in us. And we've made it clear that we want to take an active role in shaping that goodness. The class of 2018 is a collection of change makers, people who have already started molding the future. That is who we are, and that is who we will become. So I hope we never forget our past as Exonians. I hope that when some of you become world-famous playwrights, producers, and actresses, you'll remember Dramat and the main stage productions. I hope that when some of you become lawyers and judges, you'll remember the hours you poured into mock trial and debate. I hope that all of you future doctors remember taking AP Bio with Mr. Chisholm and a shiver of residual fear runs down your spine. To all of you budding journalists and editors, I hope you remember the hours we spent poring over the paper, trading gossip as we ate pizza from Front Row. And I hope all of you soon-to-be activists and public intellectuals remember the nights and afternoons we spent in Clubroom B, dancing to hip-hop between discussions about the latest social justice theories. Again, this is where I want to add to Sartre. While I understand his desire to be free of the past in a Europe racked by World War II, for us today, on the day of our commencement into the larger world, the past certainly exists. It continually reiterates itself through all of us. As I look ahead to my own future, I know that this school will always be a past that I'm glad to call my own, but I'm glad to recreate. And of course, I owe all of that to you, class of 2018. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Athena. I want to add my welcome to all of you as well, and I want to thank all of you who are here for sharing what is so much the most precious part of your lives, your children, with us. So thank you so much. And class of 2018, why don't you, let's all thank your families and friends as well. So I want to thank also everyone else who is here who is doing so much to make this such an incredibly special day. So first I want to thank the musicians, Sophia Aguri, Maria Kim, Hyanan McDonald, and Amanda Sherwood. I want to thank the singers who we'll hear later in the program. You all have a very special treat and a new tradition that they're going to share with us. The faculty who have joined us, without whose cheerleading and guidance these students would not be here, and especially the staff, all the campus educators, without whom not. Thank you for what you do every day to make this possible. I'd like to recognize also the guests who are joining us here on the platform. First is one of our trustees, Marc de la Briere, class of 77, who is here representing the trustees of Phillips Exeter Academy. And he is the parent of a senior, so he is pretty happy here to have a ringside seat for all of this. You got a little applause there, Mark. I also want to thank longtime and dedicated educators who will be retiring, graduating maybe, with the class of 2018. We want to honor them for their service, for their gifts, for the love and care they have shown to generations of Exonians. Kathy Brownbeck of the Department of Religion. Myra Citron, our school doctor. And Jeannie Stern, the Director of Counseling. Not on the platform today, but in our hearts, are Joseph Ryder of the Department of Modern Languages and Vicky Baja, also of the Department of Modern Languages. We thank you so much for everything you've given to generations of Exonians. I'd now like to introduce Ellen Wolf, the Dean of Faculty.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Lisa, for that introduction. As the Dean of Faculty, it is my honor and privilege to be with you here this morning on behalf of all the faculty. I will be announcing 2 sets of awards, 4 endowed college scholarships and 8 commencement awards and prizes, and you can find all of these listed in the insert of your graduation program. So we'll start with the endowed college scholarships. Phillips Exeter Academy has been the fortunate recipient of gifts that established endowed scholarships to a number of specific colleges and universities. Many of these funds were endowed decades ago, and as you will hear, some of their deeds stipulate that the scholarships be awarded only to students attending particular colleges and universities. Given today's tuitions, the scholarships awards themselves are relatively modest, but we trust that the recognition given to the recipients by the donors and the faculty is meaningful. I ask that you hold your applause until I have announced the winners of all 14 endowed scholarships, and the recipients need not come up on stage at this time. The first 4 scholarships are for students' first year at Harvard. The James Dwight Arnold Memorial Scholarship goes to Pedro Hagler. The Lindsay Crawford Memorial Scholarship goes to Manat Benazi. The George Sutro Lowenstein Memorial Scholarship goes to Ivy Tran. The Warren Williams Jr. Memorial Scholarship goes to Peter O'Keefe. The Hubert E. Teschmacher 1874 scholarships, these are for each of 4 years at Harvard. And this year, these scholarships go to Willa Canfield and Isaac Robinson. The remainder of the college scholarships are for use at other colleges. The John Parker Compton 1943 scholarships are for the first year at college, with preference given to students who will matriculate at Princeton. We have 9 of these recipients this year, and they are Ade Delapo Adedokun, Lauren Arkell, Michael Garcia, Benjamin Harrison, Connor Moriarty, Charlotte Polk, Harold Saunders, Lucas Schroeder, and Athena Spinner. The Stephen Hyde 1964 Memorial Scholarship for the first year at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill goes to Marie Layton McCall. The Kappa Sigma War Memorial Scholarship for the first year at college goes to Samantha Weaver. The Hinckley Stedman Fund scholarships are for each of 4 years at college, and we have 10 recipients this year. Louisa Bartkovich, Ruby DiCarlo, James Fortin, Christina Gonzalez, Chidebele Ikpiazu, Vivienne Kraus, Claire Melvin, Reed Willett, Madeline Shapiro, and Meggie Topali. The Perrin Fellowship, established by James Perrin, 46, and his late wife, Martha Bodell Perrin. The Perrin Fellowship supports a year of independent travel and study, permitting a recent Academy graduate to expand their cultural horizons and to stimulate further development of their individual potential. The Perrin this year goes to Brian Zhao. The Robert Wilson Kessler Scholarship is given with preference for a student proposing an interim program of study or travel outside of Exeter. The Kessler this year goes to Ori Evans. The E.S. Wells Kerr Memorial Scholarship for the first year at Princeton goes to Josephine de la Briere. The Timothy G. Taylor Trust Scholarships for each of 4 years at college are given to students continuing their education in the performing arts, and we have 3 recipients this year: Anzi De Benedetto, Billy O'Handley, and Lucas Stevens. And finally, the last of the college scholarships. The Vanderwal College Scholarships are awarded to 2 seniors who have been at the Academy for 2 or more years and who hold the highest academic rank and have earned varsity letters in 2 or more sports. These awards go to Catherine Lee and Jackson Perrell. So please join me in congratulating all of the scholarship recipients. It is now my honor to announce our 8 commencement awards and prizes. Each award is accompanied by a brief citation, which I will read. I ask that these award recipients please come up on stage to receive their awards, and I welcome you all in the audience to applaud each recipient as they come forward. The Yale Cup, awarded each year by the Aurelian Society of Yale, to that member of the senior class who best combines the highest standards of character and leadership with excellence in his studies and in athletics. The award this year goes to Adedolapo Adedokun. The Ruth and Paul Sadler 23 Cup, awarded each year to that member of the senior class who best combines the highest standards of character and leadership with excellence in her studies and in athletics. The Sadler Cup this year goes to Lauren Arkell. The Parry Cup, established by the class of 1945 in honor of Dr. Lewis Parry, the 8th principal of the Academy, and given annually to a senior who has shown outstanding qualities of leadership and school spirit. We have 2 awards this year. The first, Marie Layton McCall. And the second this year goes to Chidibele Ikpiazu. Congratulations to both of you. Do you want me to hold it while you decide who takes it? She took it. The Williams Cup, established in memory of George Lind Richardson Jr. and given annually to a student who, having been in the Academy 4 years, has by personal qualities brought distinction to Phillips Exeter. The Williams Cup this year goes to Lucas Schroeder. The Eskie Clark Award is given annually to that scholarship student in the graduating class who, through hard work and perseverance, has excelled in both athletics and scholarship in a manner exemplified by Eskie Clark of the class of 1919. This year's recipient is Robert Murray. The Cornell Award. The Thomas H. Cornell Award, based on a vote by the senior class, is awarded annually at graduation to that member of the graduating class who best exemplifies the Exeter spirit. Anna Katarina Clark. And now the Cox Medals. Given by Oscar S. Cox, Esquire, in memory of his father, Jacob Cox. These medals are awarded each year to the 5 members of the graduating class who, having been 2 or more years in the Academy, have attained the highest scholastic rank. This year, the awards are given to, in alphabetical order, Ian Johnson. The second Cox Award, Marie Lee. The third Cox Medal, George Matheos. the fourth, and this is a little awkward, Athena Spinner. And finally, the fifth Cox Medal goes to Vinjay Vale. And the last prize of the morning is the Faculty Prize for Academic Excellence. It's given to that member of the graduating class who, having been 2 or more years in the Academy, is recognized on the basis of scholarship as holding the first rank. This year, the prize is given to Vinjay Vale. Congratulations to all of our award winners and all of our graduates.
Thank you, Ms. Wolf. One more round of applause for all of the award winners. This represents just the tip of the iceberg of how incredible this class is. I want to now introduce the seniors from the concert choir. Tess Alto, Gabriel Bayan, Kira Cagney, Diana Davidson, Ruby DiCarlo, Harry DiTullio, Alia Algayar, Harrison Fitzgerald, Daniel Miller, Sagar Rao, Anae Reach, and Nate Sassoon. They perform under the direction of Chris Johnson, Director of Choirs. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, and thank all of you. I tell these guys that every time I hear them sing, I cry. So every single time. Okay, class of 2018, the 237th class to graduate from Phillips Exeter Academy. I am so honored to be here with you all right now. Here's the Egyptian-Greek writer C.P. Cavafy, born in 1863, his poem Chefeche, translated as The Great Yes. For some people, the day comes when they have to declare the great yes or the great no. It's clear at once who has the yes ready within him, and saying it, he goes from honor to honor, strong in his conviction. He who refuses does not repent. Asked again, he'd still say no. Yet that no, the right no, drags him down all his life. The great yes. We'd all want to believe that we'd say yes, answer the call, go from honor to honor, just like we all know we'd take Robert Frost's road less taken. I think of my favorite phrase from The Deed of Gift, the great end and real business of living. That's a great yes. But what are you saying yes to? The problem is often not declaration, that's easy, but knowing what on earth it is you're declaring, or even recognizing that a declaration is there to be made at all. Yesterday I was trying to think of examples of great yeses, but they only really look like great yeses from the vantage point of hindsight when they have revealed themselves to have been such. At its source, a great yes can look a lot more like whim, or course correction, or seed corn, or logical extension, or Lamont Gallery Proctor's This One's For You, a collection of accidental origins. So maybe the yes within you is by definition indistinct and formless, a jumble of shape and color, ready for us to make meaning from it, or a door through a wardrobe into which you enter a new world through which all our strengths and all our flaws are heightened and where the outcome is uncertain. Cavafy's no is clear and concrete. His yes has yet to be created. I want to say more about that long yes in a minute, but first I want to say that I think the class of 2018 will come to be seen as the headwater for Exeter's next great yes, the next step in the school's journey, as much as it is for each of you individually, as Athena put on. So I want to remind you, and maybe tell some of those of you who don't already know, some of the times when the great class of 2018 has said yes. When you push the trustees to think about socially responsible investing, green sleeves in the endowment, divestment from fossil fuels, and other places where you asked if our values matched our actions. When you advocated for free but also responsible speech in assembly, in class, in clubs and dorms, online and off. When you pressed us on gender inclusion and pioneered an almost first in the nation all-gender dorms. When you shed light on where we can and must improve financial access and equity for all students. When you continued to advocate for healthy, respectful, consensual relationships. When you pressed for time to find and hone your passions, fruit flies, pizza boxes, full-length musicals, off-season training, and off-campus service. When you pushed us, especially the adults, especially me, to consider the ways that we don't always live up to the values of inclusion and equity that we intend. And in those and other ways, you pushed us, especially in how we practice Harkness, in that classroom space that for your teachers is like a sanctuary. You fired Harkness again to a great yes. And I especially want to thank you for that across all its dimensions, because I do love Harkness and I want its limitations exposed and its potential fulfilled. And most of all, every adult on this campus loves you and wants you and all the Exonians who come after you to experience Exeter at its best and its bravest. And sometimes that means it's most vulnerable. Some people may agree with you on some, if not all, of the above as being good things. Others may press you for more critical thinking or accuse you of being naive, or that you're too bold or not bold enough, or too fast or too slow. And no, not every idea is a good one just because it's a bold one. Nonetheless, Exeter is a little braver, a little more rugged, a little more creative, a little more fun now than it was because of you. And I am too, so thank you. Now, this is a long game, and I was reminded of that by an elderly alumnus who recently, and with great love and pride for his school, asked me, "So how's that co-education thing going?" I thought, well, 47 years in, But of course, he was in his 90s, and to him, our 47 years were still just part of a journey towards a school that would truly serve youth from every quarter. So in that spirit, in the spirit of the long game and being a little brave and a little rugged and a little creative and a little more fun, I want to share for you a yes gift that I got from my brother. And here's the backstory. So when I was a kid, my family moved a lot and all over the world for my dad's job, 20 times over my childhood and into early adulthood, with lots of short hops that stretched into 2-year stints by the time I was 8 or so, and shortened again as my brother and I left for school. My parents were first-generation college students who shared passionately an open-hearted curiosity for places and cultures beyond the factory town and farm country they had grown up in. And together they chose a path that would have them, as my Italian grandparents put it, gallivanting all over the world, and my grandmother did not necessarily mean that as a compliment. We were third culture kids before that was a term, able to find home everywhere and nowhere. People always asked if it was hard, and some people were openly disapproving. But you know, when you're a kid, your life just is what it is, and we thought it was pretty wonderful most of the time. And although my brother and I have now lived in our respective states, New Hampshire and New Jersey, for close to 30 years, we share a happy sense of permanent impermanence, an expectation of change, and the certainty that everything holds some promise and holds some possibility. We're restless in my family. So my brother has this plan, the 10-10, 10 years, 10 places, and it's a really fun game to play. Consider, where would you pick if you were to take 10 years, choose 10 places, and live in each one for a year? What would be your principles of selection and why? How would you make it happen? What kind of housing would you live in? How would you learn what would be your source of income? How would you learn the language? When in the moment is life is the moment for that? Or can you do it in stages? And big hint, my brother and I think it's cheating to do it in stages. You got to do it whole hog, one at a time. Well, will the 10 places you'd pick now be the ones you'd pick in 5 years or in 50? If you made a mistake, would you let yourself off the hook and leave early? And what would you need to cultivate in yourself to be the 10-10 kind of person? Or maybe you're not a 10-10 person, and that's fine too. So what takes its place? And most important, it's easy to think about what you'd take from place to place, but what would you leave behind? It's a thought experiment that gets at a lot of yeses, a journey that builds in a lot of course changes, but inevitably, irrevocably arrives somewhere. That somewhere is, of course, the great end and real business of living, whether you intend it to be or not. That is the place we all arrive, and by which we consider how it is to have lived. Maybe that's why we all struggle to achieve and resist and transcend our culture's conventional markers of success. Grades, more and more advanced courses, a particular set of colleges, other people's ideas of honors, the jobs, safe roads to preset ends, carefully curated lives with equally carefully curated rewards, what Ralph Waldo Emerson called lives of quiet desperation. We all want to follow our passions, but that can be hard to know what those are. Easier, Cavafy says, to refuse than to hold to the right no. And no wonder we live in a society that too often seeks surface validation as a hedge against our demons. So here's the answer, immodestly, she put it. At the end of the day, what will matter is that when you are 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 and 60 and 70 and, like my parents, 80, and may you live long lives of joy, adventure, adversity, sacrifice, triumph, great happiness. What matters is that you will have had loving relationships, that you will have done work in the world that is meaningful, that you are the person your community turns to because you are wise and kind. If those things come to pass, you will have come to your great end and real business. So back to Cavafy, and now his most famous poem, Ithaca. It's a bit long, but it's a really good poem, and it is the last one you're going to hear as Exeter students, so here it is. As you set out for Ithaca, hope your road is a long one, full of adventure, full of discovery. The Striganians, Cyclops, angry Poseidon, don't be afraid of them. You'll never find things like that on your way as long as you keep your thoughts raised high, as long as a rare excitement stirs your spirit and your body. Lystriganians, Cyclops, wild Poseidon, you won't encounter them unless you bring them along inside your soul, unless your soul sets them up in front of you. Hope your road is a long one. May there be many summer mornings when, with what pleasure, what joy, you enter harbors you're seeing for the first time. May you stop at Phoenician trading stations to buy fine things, mother of pearl and coral, amber and ebony, sensual perfume of every kind, as many sensual perfumes as you can. May you visit many Egyptian cities to learn and go on learning from their scholars. Keep Ithaca always in your mind. Arriving there is what you're destined for, but don't hurry the journey at all. Better if it lasts for years, so you're old by the time you reach the island, wealthy with all you've gained on the way, not expecting Ithaca to make you rich. Ithaca gave you the marvelous journey. Without her, you wouldn't have set out, and she has nothing left to give you now. And if you find her poor, Ithaca won't have fooled you. Wise as you will have become, so full of experience, you'll have understood by then what these Ithacas mean. Class of 2018, you are seeking your Ithaca, your great yes, and it is yours to create. The skills are in your hands and hearts and minds. Farewell and Godspeed, and when you return, you will, I know, find that the seeds you have planted here from your best selves have grown to shape this place to its next great yes. Thank you for that, and congratulations. Okay, so this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. After the ceremony, I want to invite everybody to go across the street and join us for lunch on the lawn in front of the library. And that will be where we all break bread together and say our final goodbyes to the class of 2018 on this glorious summer morning. But now, Jackson, Manat, shall we? All right.
So I was told to stall while people line up, correct? I don't really know how to stall, but sing? Can't really do that. Ready? Isaac Rodney Brown. Jacobus Patricus Cassidy, James Patrick Cassidy. Michael Lingye Chen. Henricus Jacobus de Tullio. Jacobus Eduardus Forte. Andreas Hite Hong. Sarah Kopanova. Alexis Huiyang Lee. Alice Woodbury O'Leary Little. Christopher P. Luke. Grace Audrey Pan. Emily Edgel Palicha. Stuart Andrew Rucker. Traxler Vincent Scott. Evan Michael Stanton. Margaret Catherine Titchener. Tess Elizabeth Alto. Isabella S. Abate. Adedolapo Adedokun. Theodore John Aiken. Matthew Donald Alburn. Ryan Carter Alcorn. Maximilian Nicholas Alzarath. Eric Christopher Anderson. Joshua William Anderson. Nikita Ilyich Ongarsky. Eris Riva Apple. Lauren Lila Arkell. Noah Solomon Ash. Andrew Silas Atzlis. Nader Ali Baber. Chanseo Bey. Minatala Nasser Banasi. John Worthington Baker. Christopher Francis Balboni. Michael Abwaji Bama. Benjamin Isaac Barba. Auden Fairbairn Barber. Louisa Marie Barkovich. Francisco de Paula Baviera Maloney. Om D. Buva. Ellen Rose Blackwell. Cedric Anthony Blaze. Claudia Blanco. Margaret E. Bolin. Seth Williamson Langley Bowman. Anthony Joseph Bravo. Hannah Bredstein. Jacqueline Leigh Brenner. Ayana Grace Brock. Alexander Isaac Brufsky. Gabriel Paul Ferran Bayan. Jacqueline Dalton Sarah Byrne. Kira O. Cagney. John Joseph Kalman Jr. Molly Juniper Canfield. Willa Juniper Canfield. KU Cal. Lillian Beach Carden. Emily Lake Cardenas. Christy Marie Chang. Jonathan B. Chen. Ratana Cheng. Anna Katarina Clark. Abigail Ely Clyde. Kaylee Marie Conti. Emily A. Coombs. Charles Pierce Dalape. Diana Victoria Davidson. Pradyam Dayal. Anzi De Benedetto. Jonathan Cheevers de Bonis. Ty Atticus Deary. Milena Cherie Daguerre. Josephine Tess Chopat de Labriere. James Theodore Demopoulos. Grayson Storm Harrington DeRossi. Ruby Chaya Bar DeCarlo. Jolena Marie Demon. Catherine Parker Dolan. William M. Douthit. Michael James Doyle. Samson Joseph Dubé. Benjamin Fisher Ekstrom. Jonas Malachi Eichenlaub. Alia Sophie El Gayar. Nicholas Dallas Epperson. Leah Lane Erickson. Ori Matisse Evans. Ogechukwu Ikechukwu Ezikwena. Harrison Greg Fitzgerald. Kate Burke Fitzpatrick. Carson Edward Fleming. Christian Flores. Ryan E. Foley. James Paul Fortin. Wyatt Charles Foster. Hans Wilhelm Foto. Christopher Scott Fowler. Lily Hathaway Friedland. Gabriella Sampson Gable. Lara Galigani. Michael David Garcia. Abigail L. Geary. Grace Catherine Gasper. Andrew John Geppert. Spencer James Gibson. Avery Robert Giles. Carolyn G. Gerard. Alexander Chan Gladu. Victoria Christine Glidden. Christian Tanner Glover. Christina Elizabeth Gonzalez. Grant Thomas Goodwin. Alexis Rael Gorfin. Julia Grace Goyden. Sinclair Bastia Goye. Catherine Nicole Goyette. Emily Grace Green. Nasir Tariq Grissom. Logan David Gruss. Curtis Murphy Haas. Pedro Werner Hagler. Christopher Thor Hombacher. Linnea Barty Hamby. Bridget Hahn. Timothy Jayek Hahn. Alexa Victoire Harris. Benjamin Arturo Harrison. Maria Denali Heater. Liliane Catherine Hernandez. Gavin William Hickey. Jordan Ann Hilliard. Erica Hagiwara Hogan. Grace Yuanwei Huang. Connor Vincent Hunt. Chidiebele Audrey Ikpiazu. Efechi May Bender Zilozo. Nikita Ivanov. Kyle Andrew Jaditz. Theodore James Jaffrey. Jaylene M. Jamie. Elizabeth Marie Janko. Miriam Jabari. Jonathan Taylor Jenkins. Daisy Ella Johnson. Ian Malcolm Johnson. Patrick Jonak. Claire Megumi Judaba. Emilio Martin Karaki. Sen Michael Canali. Grace Amelia Connor. Ashley Sun Kim. Dong Won Kim. Maya Elizabeth Kneebone Kim. Arrow J. Corpella. Margaret Evan Plath Kraus. Vivienne Charles Plath Kraus.
Thank you. Elisa Mara Kuwana. Silas Malarkey Lane. Dan Tran Lin Lay. Mary Lay. Clara Eugen Lee. Eliane Augustine Lee. Jasmine Nicole Lee. Catherine Chai Lee. Maria Lee. Olivia Lay. Daniel Raymond Lee. Jane Heesong Lee. Harrison Leanne. Chaeyon Lim. James Henry Lynn. Elizabeth Mai Locke. Kalel Kenneth Lopez. Kate Liu. William Henry Francis Luddington. Ariel Patricia Soulon Louis. Kevin Katie Laskawa. Winslow Stanton Sewell MacDonald. Lauren Elizabeth McGuire. Ethan Slayton Malilla. Eleanor Parker Mallet. George Peter Burkhoff Matheos. Marie Layton McCall. Michaela Rosemary McCarthy. Catherine Dione McCoy. Keanan Wendell Wallace McDonald. Tanner Joseph McGowan. Andrew David McGurran III. Gabrielle Leela Meeks. Claire Davis Melvin. Daniel Stephen Miller. Gregory Paul Miller. Paul Luis Miller. Adeline Inez Millman. Marko Mitrovic. Rachel Nicole Kajikane Moberg. Alexa Marlise Moklis. James Howard Malloy IV. Alexei Monavukis. Connor Gallivan Moriarty. Patricia O'Leary Moriarty. April Elizabeth Murphy. Robert Thomas Murray IV. Sarah Juliana Myers. Cameron Cole Najafi. Vishak Harish Narayan. Abel T. Ngala. Rebecca Deist Nickerson. Cody Reese Nunn. Molly Rogers O'Day. William Cousin O'Handley. Peter Edward O'Keefe. Mairead Eileen O'Sullivan. Tomoko Sophia O'Gurry. Oluwadara Esther Okaremi. Reed William Woolett. Emma Suzanne Paltrow. Jackson Smith Perrell. Taeyong Park. Cora Emerson Payne. Julian Jorge Perez. Kiara Perotti Correa. Olivia Frances Peterson. Kenneth Pitch. Ariane Pisha. Jackson Coles Pimentel. Charlotte Chase Polk. Gautam Shiv Ramesh. Sagar Rao. Anae Elizabeth Reach. Anna Elaine Riemann. Casper Rebeshko. Alexander Reynaud. Pedro Repsol DeSanson. Brian Ree. Joaquin Riojas Zambrano. Valeria Giselle Rios. Aiden Watson Roberts. Hannah Ruth Robinson. Isaac Alexander Robinson. Tony Rojak. Annalise Romero. Janie Faith Ronquillo Anaya. Savannah Paige Roth. Michael Kenmotsu Rounds. Chase Sylvan Ryan Embry. Evan Joseph Saltman. Tyler Jerome Samuels. Gabriella Kira Sanders. Nathaniel Andre Sassoon. Harold Finley Saunders. Aaron Connor Scales. Peter S. Shesharek. Lucas John Schroeder. Tiago Santos Schwartz. Chloe Tate Scotchamara. Thaddeus Joseph Scott. Molly Jane Seibel. Isha Jitesh Shah. Connor Paul Shannon. Madeline Ann Shapiro. Emmett Moulton Scholl. Sarah Ray Shepley. Amanda Marie Sherwood. Brennan Getty Simon. Charles A. Smith. Carter Langdon Snow. William Dean Soltis. Nicholas Anthony J. Ho Song. Araya Soranwani. Cameron Dean Speck. Margaret Frances Stoller. Zachary Charles Stenglein. Athena Casey Stenor. Madison Rose Stern. Oren Uriel Stern. Lucas William Stevens. Samuel Ryan Stone. Elliot Nicolaus Stork. Thomas Itel Stuckey. Maximilian Hannibal Chagru. Chayapa Sukum. Grant Richard Summermatter. Lydia Frances Summermatter. Nicholas O'Neill Swift. Lawrence Swift. Eric Tazawa Goodchild. Magisha Afria Tohir. Maggie Topali. Ivy Fu Tran. Rylan Patrick Tuttle. Vinjay Suraj Vale. Jonna Bridget Vandergraaf. Luna Bell Vaso. Dalton Ray Vega. Joshua Velasquez. Jacques Henry von Steuben. Abigail Leavenworth Waite. Taylor Jack Walsh.
Let's go, Taylor! My boy, Taylor Walsh!
Samantha B. Weaver. Theodore R. Weaver. Emma Patricia Wellington. Sophia Ellen Windish. John Derek Woodward Jr. Sum Ying Celeste Wu. Wendy Yan. Sophia Heewon Yoon. Jennifer E. Sesena. Chen Cha Jung. Jichun Joy Jung. Brian David Zhao. Gregory Hong Zhu. Sophia J. Zhu.